This is Tony Nasca with DevNet Technologies and the project system. We're here today to show you our latest feature, serial number tracking. Serial number tracking is designed to help you keep track of all products shipped to the field where there is a serial number, so that later on when there's a warranty issue you can keep track of when product was shipped to the client and know whether it's under warranty or not. This would be applicable for the audiovisual and security fields and other low voltage fields where there are equipment with high dollar values and there are serial numbers associated with that product. We're going to go to a project, and you see here on our product we have several items, and the first item says that serial numbers are required. The next item, it has not been determined whether serial numbers are required or not for this device, so it has to learn that. The next item is cable, and serial numbers are not required. And then the last item, serial numbers are required. Now, the packing list is the primary area where we record serial numbers. You can also do this at invoicing, but it would definitely be more appropriate to do it at packing lists. So when we ship the product with the packing list, we go ahead. Before I go into that, I'm going to talk about some preliminary things. Preliminarily, on the inventory screen, you can go ahead and you can actually determine in advance on the inventory screen whether there's serial number tracking, yes or no. And so the system will let you seed this before you actually use the items. Additionally, you can go to the vendor list, and you also have a similar screen, and you can make a determination, yes, the manufacturer items are serial number trackable or not, or if you leave it blank, then you can let the system learn on a line-by-line, item-by-item basis. The other thing that we've done for you is the ability under Maintain Inventory Utilities. You can come down here, and by manufacturer, you can say JBL requires serial number tracking or doesn't require serial number tracking, or ask on a line-by-line basis. And so here's where you can seed your items on a global level by manufacturer, whether to record or not to record serial number tracking. We will also be updating the equalizer to let you seed that data when you're actually importing price lists, but that has not been done as of yet. So let's go ahead and back to our project. We're going to go ahead and do our packing list. So we just select the item, and this is all normal packing list functionality and packing list. There you go. Now we're not going to ship the last item. So when we leave the editor now to print our packing list, we get our print screen. We do our preview or print, and we see here our normal packing list, of course, without serial numbers. Now what happens is after we say yes, the packing list printed correctly, it then prompts you for the serial numbers. And you see this screen, the first item, this JBL, it's already been determined that we have to track serial numbers, and we press the Get button, click, and here's where we enter our serial numbers. We can enter them by hand, or we can use a barcode scanner, and that's what I'm going to do in this case here. And there's our first one, and there's our second one. So we go ahead and record these and press Post. And now you see we have it done for that particular one. Now the next item, and I should also mention that if we try to leave the screen right now, we will get a prompt that we have to complete the items. So this is where we're constraining the data such that you have to say yes or no. We'll go ahead and say yes to this one. Go ahead and gather this in. Notice the system gave us 7 blank lines because we just shipped. So I'm going to go ahead and record our barcodes again. Of course, these would be unique, so I'll go ahead and put a and then we go ahead and hit post. Now, of course, the table does not require serial numbers, so we don't have to do anything. We just press exit now. And then what happens is the system allows us to revisit the packing list with serial numbers. Click over there, and now we actually have the serial numbers is now part of our packing list. When we leave the screen, we can come back. If we look at our project again, notice here it's done, and not required, and this one is required. So let's go ahead now and do an invoice. So we go ahead and go into billing menu. Again, this is all just normal invoicing. Come over here, click over here, confirm this. Now, if we try to, now the first item, of course, we've already recorded serial numbers, so we can go ahead and keep track of, go ahead and invoice those items. Now, if we try to invoice the last item, it actually prompts us serial numbers are required, and in fact, we can go ahead, and there's a serial button right here. We can go ahead, come up to this screen, press our Get button. Again, go ahead, record these. Okay, and then we hit Post, click over there, and done, and now we can go ahead and invoice the item normally, and exit, and done. I want to also point out that if you are using progress billing and you tell the system to process line by line, process the items, if the serial numbers have not been recorded, the system will not let you, it will not process those items. They'll just stay allocated until you can record the serial numbers. Now, later on, of course, the whole purpose of this is to do a report. We come up here to Tasks, Serial Number Search. We put in our serial number that we're tracking for. Click on there. And we can filter by manufacturer or part number in case there's a duplicate. And then when we're finished, we do our search. Of course, you see all these came into being because I did the same exact serial number. Of course, you probably never see that because they'd all be unique. But you see here, this was done on the packing list. This was done from the editor, packing list, editor, and so forth. And then we do have a report here for you. So if you want to get this out, and it has a date of when it was shipped, it was an out ship versus an incoming, it was a packing list, who the customer was, so who did the shipping at the time, and there you go. One last little point that I'll bring to your attention is if you want to backfill serial numbers on projects that have already been packed, you can come over here to the system, and you see we've already shipped this, and we can go ahead and fill this in. We press our info key, ship log, add serial numbers, go ahead, view the packing list like we normally have done before, and then it brings us to our serial number gathering screen, capture screen, click over there, put our serial number in, and then hit post and done, and then of course if we want to reprint it with packing list, with serial numbers, we can do that. That is the new feature, serial number tracking, and feel free to call DevNet Sales or tech support for pricing and instructions on how to use this module. Thank you very much, and have a good day.